Stab it up just a touch. Like, actually be willing to throw that left hook, Mr. Left Hook Lacey.
Yeah, they actually talked about that. Why is this guy named Left Hook Lacey if he's not going to throw a left hook? I don't understand.
It's the fifth round. I think he's thrown 3 of them.
Yeah.
Now, I know he's got the big old scar there and everything. He obviously had some serious surgery. There's a scar up in front, and then there's a scar again up the back. It's pretty weird.
Almost the exact same surgery that, what's his name? We just talked about him.
Yeah, I know.
We just talked about him when he fought last week.
Oh, and that other guy, too.
He beat Mayweather. Or Mayweather beat him twice. It's only Brent Force.
Yeah.
It's basically the same surgery that Brent Force did.
But Vernon Forrest is going out there knocking guys out, whereas Jeff Lacey...
He took a lot more time off than Lacey did. He took 2 years off to really build that shoulder back up.
He took a long time.
Here you look for help from the host of the show.
What did I do?
And he gives you
He's a smart ass.
Yeah, he's curious. You know, he knocked my order. Yeah, and that guy too. Looking for help.
Edit that shit
Throw
out.
me a line. Nope. Here, catch this anchor.
Also on the undercard, junior featherweight action, Daniel Ponce de Leon, 12-round unanimous decision over Eduardo Escobedo. He retains the junior featherweight championship of the world. 118 to 110, 117 to 111, 115 to 113. Ponce de Leon, still only 1 loss, 30 knockouts for his 34 wins. He's just a crazy knockout.
Yeah, he throws those power punches, but in this fight,
didn't look as great.
He didn't look as great. His punches were smothered. This card was actually kind of, other than the main event, was kind of dull. A lot of fights were really good matchups, but they didn't end up being what we expected to come out. Ponce blew him out. Just a lot of his big power shots didn't land.
That just shows that Escobedo had a really good defense.
Yeah,
a better defense than Ponce de Leon was ready for.
Better defense and a better game plan than Ponce de Leon was ready for.
He kind of smothered his punches, stepped into him a lot like what Hatton usually does.
And lightweight action, Edner Cherry, TKO victory in the 6th round over Wes Ferguson. Ferguson 17-3-1 with 5 knockouts. Edner Cherry moving on up. Mr. Friday Night Fights, Edner Cherry.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that he's going to fight. He fought Ferguson again. The only reason that he probably fought him is because Ferguson's a big guy in the Mayweather camp. He helps
sparring partner. He's a fixture. He's a fixture.
And
he was all over the 24/7 for Oscar and for Hatton.
As Raphael says, I don't think we're going to be seeing Ferguson again on any big pay-per-view events again. But Edner Cherry is a different story. He has a second big knockout victory here, scored in a row. Looked pretty good in this fight. Probably one of the better fights of the night, actually, outside of the main event.
The only reason we talk about those 3 fights is to actually get to the main event, which was welterweight action, of course. Floyd Mayweather Jr. And of course, he's going by money now.
Yeah, well, he's still saying he's Pretty Boy.
He's Pretty Boy Floyd Money Mayweather.
It's a little too long for me, but
yeah, when you have 6 nicknames in your name, it just kind of takes it away.
The Motor City Cobra, Tommy the Hitman Hearns, the fighting school teacher of DeMott, gentleman Jimmy Holmes. When's Jimmy Holmes going to be named at the same time as
Tyson
Tommy
actually
Hearns?
did that at the end too. He started adding extra names other than just Iron Mike Tyson. I can't remember all those names.
The baddest man on the planet.
It took like a half hour.
The youngest man to ever win the heavyweight championship.
But he basically had a whole card that Buffer had to read before he fought every time.
Pretty much, yeah. The card, he had to go to the back of the card.
Guy's got 3 cards.
It was like Santa's wish list. I went to the floor. But Floyd Mayweather, of course, got a TKO victory in the 10th round over Ricky Hatton. He retained his world welterweight championship. Mayweather stays undefeated, 39-0 with 25 knockouts. Hatton moving down for the first time in his pro career. He now has lost 43-1, 31 knockouts. First and foremost, those of you that did not get the chance to see this fight live, you will be able to get the chance at 10:15 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Saturday on HBO. 16,429 official people there, and it seems like 15,000 of them were singing for Ricky Hatton.
Oh yeah, he brought a lot from over the pond, as they say. I was kind of surprised.
God, that was great.
We watched the
pay for everybody?
That was great. That was a religious experience.
Oh yeah, even after he lost, they were still chanting for Hatton after the fight. I couldn't believe that.
The fight was over. They're in the ring, doing their interviews.
Interview with Mayweather, and they're chanting of Ricky Hatton in the background.
Oh, they still love him. You don't have to necessarily just win to have a fan.
Just think of how many people, if this was actually over in England or over the pond, as they would say, just think how many people would have actually been at this fight over there.
Well, they said 15,000 Englishmen flew over here just to line the streets, just to be in the pubs.
I could not believe, I watched the Telefutura card on Friday night, I could not believe how empty it was. I figured all these fans coming from overseas would at least go to that card because that's a smaller card that would have been easier to get into.
Probably.
And, well, the stands were empty, so it would have been easy to get into. And they usually don't charge much. We're going to be going to a Telefutura card this weekend.
Wow.
And seats start at $30. So I don't know, it might be a little bit more expensive in Vegas, but the fights that I've gone to in Vegas are, I mean, you can get seats there just as well. I went to Versus fights and we got pretty good seats for $45. So
I wouldn't imagine it's going to be all that much different.
it kind of depends on who's fighting, basically, on how much the seats are going to be. But I figured boxing fans would want to watch boxing. I was kind of surprised there weren't that many people there.
Well, let's talk about this fight. What did we expect from this fight, and what actually did we get out of it? What did I expect from Ricky Hatton? I expected forward only, and I expected the killer body attack. I saw a lot of forward motion. I did not see the.
I seen him attack it, but I didn't see him get to the body.
I didn't see the body attack that I expected to see. What did I expect from Floyd? I expected a lot of running, and I didn't get that.
Until the very end rounds when Hatton got wore out.
Well, for the first 7, 8, 9 rounds, I saw Floyd pretty much stand there. I mean, he was very slippery. He was very hard to hit. He was actually turning his head.
He did very good on the inside. I've never seen Floyd fight that well on the inside.
I have to, if I was wearing a hat, I'd have to take it off to Floyd Mayweather. I got beat up on the message board this week, verbally. Actually, not verbally, written word, of course. But I got beaten up by pretty much everybody. They all jumped me because I was talking about Joe Cortez and what a embarrassingly bad job I feel he did in this fight. I think the one way that Ricky Hatton could have gotten into this fight, and I think he was in this fight, but the way that he could have made it more even would be on the inside. And Joe Cortez did not allow Ricky Hatton to do anything. He was actually breaking up the action before the action was starting on the inside. The second they would clinch.
Floyd caused a lot of that, though, because Floyd was actually holding a lot when they got on the inside, which was very smart on Floyd's part. To grab, you could actually see him pulling Hatton in a few times. We're going to see that on the replay if you missed it in the actual fight. You can watch for that. He was grabbing Floyd quite a bit and pulling him towards him. Floyd was
Mayweather was pulling Ricky close,
and it made a lot of sense. Hatton would have one glove free, which usually you allow him to punch through that. But as you said, Cortez was breaking up a lot. He was actually, I heard a lot of people complaining about that, not just you.
Oh, no. Also, I was getting ripped up on the message boards because I was saying that Ricky Hatton was actually in this fight a little bit more than what the scorecards showed.
I thought that as well, but
I was upset when I heard those scorecards. When you hear, now that I don't actually have the scorecards in front of me, the numbers.
Because it was a knockout, we don't have a scorecard in front of us.
No, they'll oftentimes post them anyway, but they showed him it was like 117, 111. I mean, it was really big disparages.
Yeah, I remember one of the guys only had Hatton win in 1 round, and I think the other two had Hatton win in 2 rounds.
So winning 5 rounds total on all 3 judges' scorecards, I think that's pretty embarrassing. I think they have some explaining to do. But they won't because it's against Floyd. They're not going to bother.
But when they showed the punch stat numbers, it was really in Floyd's favor. And
you got British on me all of a sudden. Favor.
But even though the punch stats, they don't always tell the true story of what was landing on the inside. And a lot of those punches are hidden by the 3rd judge on the other side, or maybe even the 2nd judge. 2 of the judges on the inside. Those don't record as easily as the slick punches that Floyd was landing.
And of course, we're not sitting ringside. And I've said it 1,000 times on this show. I've said it 1,000 times at ringside. A punch sounds different, and you can actually feel it through the ring when a punch lands clean. You can feel it through the floor, through the wood of the mat of the ring itself.
The few times that we've sat ringside, that I've sat ringside,
okay,
I agree with you. You can feel. We saw one knockout that was vicious, where the kid didn't even put his hands down at 1 in a million.
Yeah.
That we felt that punch.
Yes.
You actually, because both of us, if you listen to the tape of the fight, the archive of it, you can hear us both going,
whoa!
but I agree with you. And
I've been ringside for hundreds of fights
Oh,
over the years, as a lot of us have. But
I know that when and I could say it, when I'm sitting and watching TV, the punches don't look the same as they do ringside.
no, the exact same punch that I've seen live. I'll go home and watch it because I'll set the TiVo for it. I'm like, man, that punch landed so much harder than it looks.
Yeah.
And
So
that's right. When we talk about Calzaghe and Kessler, when I
It's
said
just
it, and the
slaps.
slaps,
Yeah.
on a TV angle from 120 feet or whatever it is the camera's set at, the punches look different. They truly do,
They sound a whole lot different too.
Plus
When
you
you're
can-
live, you hear a punch
You can
when
see
it's
the
solid.
sweat flying off of the guys too, which makes a big difference.
Which you will not see on TV. You simply won't see it. The cameras won't pick that
You
up.
can see it on TV.
I was gonna say you can see
High
it
def
on
you can, but
you can
that
see it on
kind of
Esther
upset me
TV.
as
You
well.
can
I was
actually
really
feel a punch on Esther TV.
I was really
Shut
upset.
up, shut up. This fight was not in HD, was
No,
it?
in the Chicagoland area, they do not offer it on HD.
That
I was
sucked.
very pissed off. I called, complained. If you have a chance to call and complain, if it was not in HD in your area, you should call and complain as well. You're paying $60 for a fight.
I want to see an HD.
Yeah. If I don't have HD, then
These
I'll
guys
watch
are
it regular.
TV snobs all of a sudden.
If I'm paying $60, I
Hey, when you
deserve to
pay
have
that
a
much
picture
money for a
quality.
TV and then you pay that much money for a fight, you want it HD.
I called and complained, and I not only did I complain to the person that they initially made me talk to, I asked to talk to a supervisor or a complaint specialist, and they called me back, and I complained. I go, I just wanted to let you know I actually may cancel my Comcast service because you guys are not offering these fights in HD. I order them every time, and you guys aren't going to post them in HD. That's kind of ridiculous. So I don't know if they're planning on changing this in the future. Hopefully they will. Hopefully some people out there will call in as well and complain and get this changed.
Okay, well, the Comcast commercial has to end there. What I want to talk about is what has been upsetting me the most on all of this. Yes, it's a moot point. Floyd Mayweather is the greatest boxer in the ring today. I don't think we could really argue that. He does things that nobody can do against people that no one has done that to yet.
I wish I could see him fight Pacquiao.
He makes, well,
Well, he's not Jermaine Taylor. So
that's what's... Well said, Master. What's upsetting me, and I know this is upsetting Greg Meisinger, a good buddy of mine from the message board, is the second Floyd beats the guy we handpicked for him. We go through 3 months of press conferences, of 24/7 on HBO, of this and that and the other, and we finally get to the fight. He goes in and does what in the back of our mind we knew he was going to do the entire time. Now, yes, a lot of us, we chose Ricky Hatton, we wanted him to win, blah, blah. I think in the back of our mind we knew what was going to end up happening. I mean, we just wanted to spice it up a little bit. We knew Floyd was going to do what he was going to do. So after all that mess, he goes and does exactly what we knew he was going to do, and now we're like, but he's got to fight Cotto, or he ain't nothing. And if he's not man enough to fight Cotto, he's not getting in the Hall of Fame. That's BS.
He's in the Hall of Fame. I don't.
If he doesn't fight Cotto, he better fight Paul Williams. If he's too scared to fight Paul Williams, he better fight Sugar Shane Mosley, or he better fight Antonio Margarita, or he better fight Zab Judah again, because that was a damn good fight. I'm so tired of that stuff. Greg Meisinger, I applaud you, my friend, for actually standing up on the message board and saying that, because we get caught up in all the hype, and we have to help promote these fights as part of the media, that it's tough for us to sit back and say, man, let the guy alone. But damn it, I'm going to sit here and say it tonight. Yes, let the guy catch his breath. The guy just fought was probably the best performance of his entire damn life.
On the other hand, do you want to see him fight Cotto? You want to see him fight Mosley?
Of course we do. But
he doesn't have to.
You can't have a straight conversation with Muhammad Ali anymore, because he kept listening to people saying, "Oh, you got to fight Larry Holmes.
There's always going to be.
You got to fight Trevor Burbick. You got to fight this guy. You got to fight Leon Spinks again. You got to fight.
There's always going to be a next guy that's always going to point to somebody.
And maybe that's not a good comparison, because Ali just refused to stop. But you got to believe that back in the late 70s, and all the way to 1980 when he retired, that there were people whispering in Ali's ear.
Well,
dude, if you could get a win over Larry Holmes, he's the newest thing. He was your former sparring partner.
Even in the same weight class, Hearns did the same thing. He fought way too long. He should have retired. And
some people say Gotti fought longer than he should have.
Oh yeah. I have a heck.
And in 10 years, I mean, we should just interview him now while we can. maybe he might not be around in 10 years. Try to talk to Leon Spinks.
Who?
Try to talk to Leon Spinks. We love Leon Spinks, but try to
Love
talk
him to death. No, you can't.
Try to talk to Riddick Bowe. Good Lord.
Yeah, there's a lot of Pirates that do.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you what. I've never been a big Floyd fan. I don't like the way he fights. I've said that numerous times. I don't like the fact that he punches and runs. To me, I want to see somebody stand there and fight. And I fully expected Floyd to do that this time. I fully expected Floyd to run. Well, I understand that, but I fully expected him to do it. Figure out a way to do it. And he didn't. I truly have to take my hat. If I was wearing a hat like Chris, I would take my hat off the Floyd.
I'm not wearing a hat.
I don't think it was his choice not to do that, though. I think Hatton put that on him and made him fight on the inside. But the thing
whatever his reason was, Floyd stood there and fought.
The reason I want to take my hat off to him is because he proved he could fight a different style. He doesn't have to do that Cobra offense that I always say, the punch and Judy where he hits and runs. But what do you call it? He stood in there, fought on the inside, took those body shots that Hatton was landing every once in a while.
Knocked him out.
Not only he knocked him out in grand style, stepped around him, used an angle, caught him from the side, dead in the jaw, hit him, knocked him into the turnbuckle like a wrestling move, dropped him back on his back.
And that, to me, that's impressive. To me, I was impressed by that. The fact that he actually stood there, fought, and actually knocked him out. Because I hadn't seen a Floyd fight where he knocked somebody out. Most of the last few Floyd fights that I watched, Floyd won on decision.
Where the guy actually went down, and there was a count, and then a towel, and then the ref standing over the guy. That was a knockout. He didn't go to 10, which is one of my main requests from Santa this year. I want to see a damn 10 count once in 08.
I don't think
once.
I think they've forgotten how to count to 10.
They get to 6, 7, game moving. It's over.
Actually, I thought the ref did a good job of stepping in on this one because
that's the one thing I believe Joe Cortez did.
He was the second time after he got knocked on the turnbuckle, got back up. He was getting hit and Hatton was getting hit and actually was about to get nailed again. And Cortez grabbed Hatton's arm, or Mayweather's arm, and pulled him away. And he could have really hurt Hatton if he would have hit him because Hatton fell over instantly after that.
Hatton's arms were down. He fell down afterwards. But his heart kept him up on his feet. And you're absolutely right. He was Mayweather was about to unload a killer right, and it would have been an unanswered right, a right that he didn't see. It could have totally scrambled his eggs.
That right hand would have been answered in 3 or 4
No, jeez, right.
I don't know that Ricky could answer that right now.
I do take exception with people that sit there and watch 3 months of hype and build up, and he finally goes in, he fights the guy, beats him. Did he demolish him? He knocked him out, so he couldn't stand anymore. So yeah, he demolished him. But I think Ricky Hatton gave him a hell of a performance. I don't like that we sat through all that and we're already saying, well, now what? Who's going to fight now? Let's give him Cotto. Let's give him Mosley. Let's give him
Paul Wentz. I would not have an issue with Floyd if he said, I'm done.
I don't think he's saying he's
does he? The question is,
I've fought enough.
The question of the panel: does he owe us anything?
No, you know what? This man has fought everybody that was put in front of him.
And he hasn't just beaten everybody. He has beaten up almost everybody we put in front of him. He messed over Castillo the first time they fought so bad. And Castillo was a young, in his prime fighter. He messed up Diego Chico Corrales. God bless his soul.
He messed him up bad.
Oh my God.
He beat Baltimore.
Corrales' dad jumped in the ring and said, "Stop hitting my son."
Corrales was on top of his game. He was using that reach and hitting everybody from the outside. And you watch him and you go, how can anybody hit this guy with that reach? Floyd showed you how.
Floyd stepped up and fought Charmaine Mitchell, who was sort of the gatekeeper to the welterweight division. That was his first fight at welterweight. He decides to fight Charmaine. He decides to fight Charmaine Mitchell, who had been in there with piles of champions before. Went on in there and fought him like he was a guy on his pro debut. Just smacked him around.
Yeah, I would have no issue whatsoever if Floyd said, you know what, I appreciate all the fans, I'm done.
I think a lot of it, though, is that he didn't become the true superstar until he beat Oscar. And a lot of people look at him as only having 2 superstar fights, the casual fan, and they want more from him.
and that's fine. You know, wanting more.
It's not fine.
Wanting more. Well, you know what? We're fans. We want to see. As far as we're concerned, most people would go, I want to see him fight another 3 or 4 years. But the problem is we're not the ones standing in there taking these shots. I don't care how quick and fast you are. Eventually, you're going to get hit.
We're also not casual fans, and we have access to BoxRec. And we can see that this guy has fought for the last 6 years the top talent. How dare we sit here and say, well, he ain't shit till he does Cotto. Come on now. Would it be cool? Sure.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if Santa brought me a Lamborghini too. Let's talk in reality, though.
If you ask me, Cotto's a dangerous fighter, but I think Floyd would whip him as well because he's too slow.
Well,
Well, that's the issue. There isn't anybody fast enough to hit him.
Cotto against Judah was one of the best fights of 07. I got to sit here and say that. Cotto against Judah, that was a great fight.
And you've seen that Cotto can get hit by a faster fighter.
Yes.
And I think Floyd's going to prove that he's even faster than Zab Judah. And
He already did when he knocked out Zab Judah.
Well, he'll prove it again. He would prove it again if he fought Cotto. And Williams throws too many punches. He would throw so many punches, he would end up getting caught by Floyd as well. I don't think either one of those guys have a great chance. I think Williams actually has a better chance just because he might be able to
longer reach.
Yeah, the taller and longer reach, but I don't know. Floyd is just so quick.
Floyd is head and shoulders above everybody else in the welterweight. There's absolutely, in my eyes, there is absolutely nobody in this welterweight today that can beat Floyd.
It's getting to be what 10 years ago in the light heavyweight division was for Roy. They were looking up guys. They were digging up guys for Roy to fight.
Or the heavyweight division for Mike Tyson.
So this is actually,
well, he cleaned out a division where the division was actually rather weak.
Well,
yeah,
fine,
same thing.
But nonetheless, when you're parking the car and you're 15 minutes late for the fight and you're walking in and people are walking out because Mike got done with this in 30 seconds in the first round. I mean, that was a big deal. And at that time, Mike Tyson was it.
He was entirely.
He was the heavyweight division, and in my eyes, that's what Floyd is right now. I know that you've got Cotto, who's an excellent fighter. You've got Paul Williams, another excellent fighter. But I don't see them as having the not only not having the opportunity, but not having. I don't see where they can beat him. I really don't.
The thing is, though, is Floyd has a lot of guys at this weight class now that are superstars. Roy didn't have that. The guys that they were digging up,
and neither did Mike Tyson. At that time, he didn't have a whole lot of superstars.
And Floyd's getting to fight a lot of these superstars, and I think that's going to pave his way easily to the Hall of Fame. It's already been paved, basically.
Right.
Let's see a tournament of sorts for who. Let's give Floyd 08 off, and we'll say that in January of 09, Floyd makes his final fight. The winner of Cotto Williams fights the winner of Hatton Mosley. So it'd probably be Williams against Mosley. Winner of that goes up against Floyd in his farewell fight in January of 09.
Yeah, I couldn't even. Yeah, I'd have to think about who they're fighting in styles, but those are the 4 guys that are left there. Hatton would be getting a rematch possibly, and those other guys are, like you're saying, are all at the top of the game. I don't even know if they would. I don't know if they would put Hatton or Margarito. They would probably actually put Margarito in this match.
I think Claudio deserves a shot more than Hatton. I think if you build your way up,
or Margarito, because he was handling Margarito, even though Margarito beat him.
I saw somewhere on YouTube someone was saying, how dare Ricky Hatton think that he deserves another title shot right now? You go up, you get built up, you got all that cool exposure, you got your title shot, and he didn't do it. This particular reader thought that he should get back in line now. Well, this one didn't work, so I need another shot. That's Angel Manfredi stuff.
Okay.
I fought this champion, and I didn't win. But I have a 4-fight contract with HBO. So now I'm going to fight Diego Corrales. Oh, well, he knocked me out in a couple rounds. Now I'm going to fight Stevie Johnson for the other belt. I mean, it's like, no. Get back in line. There are guys that haven't done what you that didn't get the chance that you did.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you get a shot at every champion.
You have your shot, and it's done.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
You'll get, if you're as good as you think you are, you're going to be right back.
Right. Get back in line. Fight 2 or 3 more fights. You'll be back in line and in line for the next time.
And let's not be mistaken. The other guys in this weight class, they would all be great fights anyways, because there's a lot of great fighters other than Mayweather.
Yes, but Mayweather doesn't have to fight any of these guys.
No.
He could stop right now, wait 5 years, and we'll see him in Camp Stone. This would all be for legacy's sake.
Right.
And he's got one already. He doesn't need to do any other thing.
Yeah, it's not like he needs to add to his resume. I mean, the guy's been to the mountaintop, and he's been there for a long time. You know, this guy is going to, and he's going to be there for a long time. If he continues to fight, he'll be there for as long as he wants to be there. The issue that you've got now is he smart enough to go, I don't want to wind up a walking vegetable.
Well, I think what he's afraid of is he's seen Roy Jones. Roy Jones was so great at the top of the sport, he lost his speed overnight, it seemed like.
And no one cared anymore.
And yeah,
Right.
and
All
he's
of a sudden,
afraid,
he was getting knocked out by a couple guys.
and it's really tarnishing his legacy. And Floyd's afraid that might happen to him if he waits too long.
You know what? And everybody wants to go out at the top of their game.
Well, you
The
see
guy made
this.
$50 million this year.
Yeah.
What the hell else does he need? You know,
Roy didn't get knocked out by janitors. I just heard what you said. No, he didn't. He got knocked out by two.
He's fighting janitors.
Okay.
He got
All right.
knocked out by two very, very competent fighters.
That sound that you're hearing is all the janitors listening, logging off.
Yes, I know.
Really quickly, we've got a couple more fights to blast on through, and then we'll take another break. Saturday night in Basel, Switzerland, middleweight action. Arthur Abraham TKO victory in the 5th round over Wayne Elcock. He retains the middleweight championship. Abraham still undefeated, 25-0, 20 knockouts. Elcock moves down to 18-3.
Yeah, we're going to see Abraham go on probably to fight Felix Stern, this promoter saying. He actually called out Kelly Pavlik. He wants to fight
He
Kelly
needed to.
Pavlik.
He needed to.
And it's not going to be Kelly Pavlik's next fight, but Abraham's probably in the future if Kelly can win these next couple fights that he's going to be taking.
Yeah, he's already got a couple in line, evidently.
And they're going to be lining up to fight him.
Speaking of, Saturday night in Belfast, Northern Ireland, middleweight action, John Duddy took on Howard Eastman and scored a unanimous decision won the decision. Not unanimous, because as Dan Raphael explains, in Europe, if it's not for a belt, you only have one card, and it's by the referee. The referee's the only one that actually does the scoring.
Really?
Makes me very nervous.
Well,
It's
if
very
it's
easy to
not-
buy a fight.
If it's not for the title, then at the very least in Ireland, he's saying everywhere in the United Kingdom, but if it's not a title fight, then only the referee
There
scores.
are no judges
In non-title
referees.
fights.
Oh,
I had never heard that before.
wow. Me neither.
Gotta love you, Dan Raphael. I'd like to wear a Dan Raphael t-shirt. But it's probably copyrighted.
Maybe he'll send you one of these old dirty ones.
Maybe he will. I don't want one he wore. I want one with his face on it. Yeah, punk. It's about nasty. Oh, jeez.
There was one other fight there in England. This girl, Amir Khan fought.
Oh, yeah. I don't have that right in front of me, but
Here, go ahead and
I'm sure
read
it's
that.
here. Saturday night, Bolton, England. That was on the other end of the island. Lightweight action, Amir Khan, TKO victory in the 1st round over Graham Earl. He retains his Commonwealth Lightweight Championship. That Commonwealth Championship, that's badass. That will get you free car washes anywhere you want.
In the UK.
Yeah, in the UK. Amir Khan 15-0, 12 knockouts, and Earl moving down to 25-3, 12.
He actually fought on his 21st birthday here. Knocks this guy out in 72 seconds.
What took him so long?
Yeah, he's actually trying to get up there with the same name as Calzaghe and Hatton from being overseas, and doing a pretty good job at it. A lot of people love him. I think he's a great fighter as well.
Also, Sekou Powell, TKO victory in the 4th round over Terrence Couthen. That was last Wednesday and also last Thursday when we were going live. Yuri Foreman won, Sergio Martinez won, and heavyweight challenger, at least, multiple-time challenger, Monty Barrett, TKO victory in the 2nd round over Cliff Kauser. Let's take our final break of the night. We'll come right back with updates and fighter you should know.